No DQ Galaxy. We are live with a recap of Friday Night Smackdown for August the 19th, 2022. We are getting close to the Clash at the Castle premium live event in Wales. Shout out to everybody in the chat room, the early birds. We got Darren G, Dustin, Tic Tat Tat, TMC, Ryan, and Walter Cruz sent in a $5 super chat right off the bat. Walter was part of episode 200 of the No DQ review. He says, say yes to No DQ, like and share, tell a friend, hashtag stick to my shtick. He says, thank you all for making No DQ review 200 historic and fun. He says, keep up the good work. Much appreciated, Walter. And I second everything that he said. Thank you all for tuning in to the No DQ Review 200. Almost 5 hours we discussed wrestling, WWE, AEW, I think even some WCW and TNA. It was quite the live stream. So if you missed it, make sure you guys check it out. YouTube.com/Aaron Rift No DQ. With that being said, let's get into it. David Estevez sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you for that. Says, Sami Zayn is amazing. And the Shanti says yes to No DQ. Sent in $2. Thank you. Says, aloha. I feel like this show is still going. Well, this is not the No DQ review. It did go into Friday. That's how long the stream was. But this is a brand new stream. It's a new stream. Yes, it is. Now, we kicked off SmackDown episode number 1200, and they made a big deal out of it. There was even a t-shirt. You had Pat McAfee and Michael Cole bringing up the very first SmackDown from April of 1999. Not even 2000. That's how far back SmackDown goes, 1999. And Pat McAfee even name-dropped Jim Cornette. First time I've heard Cornette's name mentioned on a WWE show in a very long time. Ronda Rousey came to the ring. She talked about how she paid her fine and was not leaving the ring until her suspension was lifted. I thought it was lifted, but apparently not. Adam Pearce came out and said that she cannot hijack the show. He asked her to leave the ring peacefully, and she warned Pearce to not make her choose violence. So Pearce got the security into the ring. Ronda Rousey beat them up. She put one of them in an arm bar, and he was selling it like he was being murdered pretty much. You had the police arrive, and they ended up handcuffing Ronda Rousey. So she was arrested. Stone Cold Ronda Rousey going off to jail. She was put in the car, and the crowd was chanting for Ronda. They were very much into her. Montreal was the location for this week's SmackDown, and this was arguably the best WWE crowd of the year, maybe the best crowd since the pandemic restrictions were over and WWE went back to live touring. They were awesome. And I seem to remember a few years back, WWE had a Raw taping in Montreal, and they were very hot for that show too. Montreal needs more shows, and Montreal needs a pay-per-view. I'm just saying that right now. Dr. Dakota Scorpio sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you for that. Says, Ronda Rousey still more over as a heel than Liv Morgan as a face. Yeah, Ronda Rousey has really turned the corner. And you know what was so good about this segment? They got right to the point. She did not go out there and talk for a long time with this monologue. She just went out there, said she wants her suspension lifted. She kept it short and sweet. And yeah, they're doing the whole Stone Cold thing with her, and it's working. It's definitely working for her right now. Joey Perez about the first SmackDown. I believe it was on UPN. It was not on USA Network. It was definitely on UPN or whatever it was called back then. And it was a pilot. So they aired it in April, and it did well in the ratings, and that's when they got the weekly deal on UPN in August of 1999. Anyways, moving on here. As Ronda Rousey was taken away in the police car, you had Roman Reigns arrive, making a rare appearance these days on SmackDown. We had a tournament match to crown new women's tag team champions. Natalya and Sonya Deville against Toxic Attraction, not Nikita Lyons and Zoe Stark. They were not cleared to compete, so Toxic Attraction, Gigi Dolan, and JC Jane ended up making an appearance on this show to compete in the tournament representing NXT. Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky were at ringside. They bought front row tickets for the match. And you had Toxic Attraction with a little video package to introduce SmackDown audience members to them. And they were doing pretty well. They sent Natalya into the steel steps, and JC Jane, to get a little bit of heat in Canada, went for the sharpshooter. She got a lot of boos, but Sonya Deville was able to avoid the sharpshooter, tagged in Natalya, who, of course, was very over in Canada, and Gigi Dolan grabbed Natalya's foot. That allowed Toxic Attraction to regain the upper hand, but then Sonya Deville broke up a pin attempt. Natalya got the sharpshooter on Gigi. However, Gigi had tagged out to JC, and Natalya was not aware of it, and JC rolled up Natalya and got the 1-2-3 victory. I felt bad that Natalya lost in her hometown, and I'm wondering if this was originally the intended outcome with the NXT team picking up the victory. But Toxic Attraction gets the win here, and they move on in the tournament. Match was decent, nothing special or anything, but it did have some good heat, being that Natalya was the home country favorite. Backstage, we had Sami Zayn go into Roman Reigns' locker room, and Roman was ready to see Sami. And Sami talked about how Jey Uso has been yelling at him, acting like he has not been carrying his weight, said Jey Uso has been ungrateful, and Roman Reigns said that Sami is right. Reigns walked off for a minute, and as he walked off, Jey Uso was trying to call. Reigns told Sami to answer it, and apparently Usos were having trouble at the border. Now, of course, in real life, they have the DUIs, and yeah, getting across the border ain't gonna work for Canada with those DUIs. So they were not there. And Reigns said that Sami Zayn winning the Intercontinental title would be a good look for the bloodline. And then before Sami took his leave, Reigns had one more thing he wanted to ask. Is Sami Zayn still cool with Kevin Owens? Sami said yes, and then Reigns responded by saying that he had a message. He doesn't owe anybody anything ever. And this was in response to Kevin Owens helping out the Usos on Raw. Funny enough, WWE did not show a video recap of this. They usually always show the recaps. But yeah, Kevin Owens said, tell the tribal chief to thank me. He owes me one. He said this on Raw, and Reigns said he doesn't owe anybody anything. And then Sami responded by saying that they actually are not super tight at the moment, being on different shows, but he said he'll make sure that Kevin Owens hears it. And speaking of Kevin Owens, Owens was in a dark match in Montreal. He was there. We had MMM, the Maximum Male Models, in the ring for a promo. Max Dupree was interrupted by Hit Row. And Max said that they are not MMM material. Hit Row attacked them. And then all of a sudden, Hit Row broke into song. They did this full-blown song, which not really my cup of tea. So that's all I'm going to say about it. But they did their song, and Maxine was dancing to it, and Max was not too happy that she was enjoying the Hit Row performance. We had a Karrion, Kross, and Scarlett vignette, and Kross was talking about how Drew McIntyre is a chosen one, just like Roman Reigns. However, McIntyre failed to set the table. And then later on, there was an hourglass that was in Drew McIntyre's locker room. So the plot thickens. When is Karrion Kross going to strike next? That's the big question. We had the 5-way match to determine Gunther's challenger for the Intercontinental title at Clash at the Castle. Sheamus, Madcap Moss, Happy Corbin, Ricochet, and Sami Zayn. This was an awesome match. I mean, this alone is worth checking out on this show. I have to say, Sami Zayn, he is going to be an awesome babyface when he finally turns. He got this epic reaction, like a Steve Austin level reaction from the fans. They were so into him. They were doing the Olay song. They were chanting, "Let's go, Sami." And in this match, everybody got to shine. Corbin got some offense. Ricochet got some offense. Sheamus's thigh got all cut up. And then Sheamus took control, and Sheamus did the 10 beats to 3 different people, and he actually did 17 beats to Ricochet. Then he went for Sami Zayn, and the crowd was loving the beats up until that point. And, of course, they started booing Sheamus when he went for the 10 beats on Sami. But Sami was able to escape, and Sami did a big dive onto Corbin and Sheamus. Sami hit a Blue Thunder Bomb, picked up the win. Just kidding. Of course, there was a kick out. And then Sheamus hit Sami with an avalanche white noise, and Sami was selling like he got injured, and he ended up being helped out to the backstage area. And yes, Sami Zayn, Montreal. He's the French-Canadian hometown boy. So, of course, the crowd very much into him. And after the commercial break, the match continued without him, but the crowd was chanting for him, hoping to see him back. Ricochet hit a really nice shooting star press. However, Happy Corbin broke up the pin, and then Sami Zayn made his return. Sami Zayn hit an exploder suplex to Ricochet, hit the haluva kick to Ricochet, but then Corbin pulled him out of the ring. Zayn was driven shoulder first into the ring post. Corbin got back in the ring, but was then hit with the brogue kick, giving Sheamus the victory. Sheamus going on to Cardiff at Clash at the Castle. I'm sad Sami Zayn did not get the win in his hometown, but he's going to have his day. Sami Zayn will turn babyface one day. Him and Kevin Owens, I feel like they're slow burning it, and it's going to be awesome. As far as the booking here, Sheamus 100% the right guy to go to Cardiff. And yes, technically heel versus heel, but Sheamus is going to be a massive babyface in Cardiff. Believe me on that one. He's going to be in the United Kingdom. Sheamus is going to be over like bananas in Cardiff. Walter Cruz sent in a $2 super chat, says Gunther versus Sheamus will be epic. I cannot wait. And the game is on 100 also sent in a super chat. He sent in $2 and said, Sheamus versus Gunther is fire in the Barney voice. I like it. I am really looking forward to this one. Like, this match is going to be phenomenal, to use AJ Styles' line. They're going to beat the shit out of each other. Just two big, meaty men slapping meat, as Biggie would say. You know they're going to chop each other. They're going to get beat red. It's going to be one of those matches where they just lay it all in. It's going to be so much fun to watch. I am very excited for this one. And Torvik23, as far as my line about bananas, remember, Gorilla Monsoon used to say the crowd is going bananas. So I always use that term as a little reference to the late, great Gorilla Monsoon. And yes, it must be the Triple H era, because we have an Intercontinental Championship match on a pay-per-view. And Michael Wayne said it's the first one since WrestleMania 37. That's crazy that we have not had an IC title match on a pay-per-view / premium live event since WrestleMania 37. It's about damn time. And this is going to be a fantastic match. I'm really looking forward to this one. Could be one of the best matches of Sheamus's career. And I think will probably be Gunther's best match on the main roster. I mean, it could be up there with the Dragunov matches. I really have high hopes for this one. We then had a Viking funeral vignette for the New Day. And what was interesting about this was that we apparently saw the return of Sarah Logan. Like, her back was turned to the camera, but everyone was saying it was her. And I guess time will tell if she's back on a regular basis. Maybe, a faction. You can have the Vikings with Sarah Logan part of the group. I'm all for that. I think that's a great way to bring her back if she's coming back. We did see her at the Royal Rumble, and she is a mom now, but we'll see if there's more to come with her. And it was a nice little vignette, basically just saying New Day, they were entertaining, but their time has passed, and they failed to heed the warnings. And then the Vikings burned a whole bunch of the New Day merchandise, like the Bootios cereal and some T-shirts and other stuff. So this was good. I like this, and I'm all for Sarah Logan coming back and being part of the Vikings. Why not? We had, speaking of Sarah Logan, her former Riot Squad partner. You could do Sarah Logan versus Liv Morgan. They got the history. Liv Morgan, the SmackDown Women's Champion, interviewed, and she said she will do anything to keep her title. Watch her. And Shotzi, her opponent for the evening, also cut a backstage promo. Basically said that Liv made a bad decision to sign up for the match with her injury, her bad arm. And this was a pretty basic match, not much to say about it. Shotzi did get some offense in, but it was a showcase for the champ. Liv Morgan picked up the win with the Oblivion, and then afterwards, Shayna Baszler attacked her. Shayna teased breaking the arm, but held off and said she wants Liv to show up for the pay-per-view, the premium live event, so she's not going to do it just yet. She'll do it in Cardiff. That's when she'll break the arm. And then she kicked Liv Morgan right in the face. Good angle here. No issues with this whatsoever. Well done. I liked it. And then we had our main event segment, and Torvik, I think they got to turn Shotzi babyface, give her the tank back. I think that would be a good direction for her. And, or even whenever she gets her visa issues settled, Tegan Nox. Like, I would not be shocked if Tegan Nox is brought back and you can put them back as a tag team, bring back the tank. But yeah, I definitely think she needs to be a babyface. Like, the heel act isn't really working for me. So anyways, our final segment of the evening, Roman Reigns, Drew McIntyre face-off. Montreal acknowledged Roman Reigns. He got a huge ovation, and Roman said he's not there every week. But if anybody comes out there saying that they are the main event or they're the guy carrying the company, they are lying. And of course, he was making reference to Drew McIntyre. Reigns said that Drew McIntyre is beneath him. And that's when Drew McIntyre's music hit. He came into the ring for the face-off. He said that Reigns does not represent the titles the way they should be represented, and said that Reigns does not deserve to be champion. Reigns was very offended by this, but McIntyre continued his point, saying that the Usos and Paul Heyman, they were always working for Roman Reigns, and said that Reigns is alone. He's not God mode. He's just a man, and he's scared. And he said that he feels like a fight. He doesn't want to wait until the premium live event. And Reigns was game. He attacked McIntyre. They brawled. McIntyre got the upper hand, went for the Claymore, but then Sami Zayn ran into the ring and took the bullet for Roman Reigns. Once again, Sami being a team player. And this is all going to work out really well whenever the bloodline turns against Sami. Sami was trying to help them, and they're going to betray him eventually. That's what I think. And it's gonna be glorious, to use Bobby Roode's line. Where's Bobby Roode, by the way? We need to get him back with the old music. So Reigns got the upper hand, went for the spear. However, McIntyre countered that with the Claymore. And yes, as Uthman said, give this video a like, spread the word, tell a friend, but at least just give this video a like, because that helps out for sure. That helps out with the view count. The more people that like the video, the more YouTube will show it as a recommended video when people are browsing. So yes, if you can, take a moment of your time, give this video a thumbs up on YouTube. So McIntyre laid out Reigns with the Claymore, and then he got 2 of the championships, held them up at the end, held up the unified titles, and that was our final shot as the show went off the air. SmackDown was a lot of fun. The Montreal crowd brought it big time. Not the best SmackDown, but it was a strong show, and the hot crowd really bumped it up. And I was thinking this was a B+ show, but the crowd was so hot for this. And I know people are like that the crowd isn't the end all be all, but I think they can take a show and elevate it, just like a good show can be downgraded because the crowd is dead. So I'm bumping it up. I'm bumping it up to an A-. This was an awesome SmackDown, and that 5-way match was fantastic. Like, that was a hot match, hot crowd. So to me, that was one of the best WWE TV matches of the year. Great stuff there. Everybody involved. Everybody got to shine in that match, and that's how you do it. That's how you do a match where everybody looks strong in it, and you have a hot crowd, and you had the right finish, even though Sami did not win. it was the right call. So yeah, big thumbs up for this show. I definitely recommend it. And that 5-way match is one of those must-watch matches. Like, definitely something you need to see if you did not see it. And that's it, everybody. If you missed No DQ review number 200, it is available on demand. It is almost 5 hours. I'm warning you now, but we talked about Roman Reigns. A lot of debate about Roman Reigns. Mr. Tito showed up, if you missed it. Mr. Tito, NoDQ.com columnist. He's very opinionated. Mo Camera, who is very opinionated, he was on there. Jeff Meacham, Colin Andrew, the whole crew pretty much, with a few exceptions. Even my wife showed up for a brief moment. So yeah, check it out if you missed it. We talked about WWE, AEW, WCW, TNA, lots of discussion. Dr. Dakota Scorpio sent in a $2 super chat. Says Canada and the United Kingdom have the best crowds in wrestling. Yeah, the UK crowds are great when they're invested and not just trying to make the show about themselves. See, Montreal, and I feel like this was how it was a few years back when I was praising Montreal. Like, they just get into it. Like, they're invested. Like, they were booing Corbin, and they get into the matches and they don't try to make it about themselves. Sometimes the UK fans have a tendency to start making the show about themselves, but doing the "we are awesome" and that sort of thing. Building Nexus sent in a $5 super chat. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. It says, how big an ovation do you think Triple H is going to get the next time he's on TV? Oh, I think he'll get... Got some water on myself. What am I, Triple H? Now, see, I was just paying tribute to Triple H, spitting out the water. Triple H, he would get a great reaction regardless. But yeah, I think it'll be even bigger now that we've seen what he's been able to do with the shows. And Joey Perez says it's the bad booking that makes the UK crowds like that. Fair enough. Next show, if Triple H puts out a good show and they react accordingly, then I will take back what I said about the UK. I mean, they're a good crowd, and we'll see about Chicago. I mean, Chicago has traditionally been a great crowd, but the last several years, I feel like they've been hit and miss, and sometimes they've been disappointing. Like the first Chicago show after the return of fans, like August of 2021, I thought they were pretty disappointing, but maybe they'll be better on the next show. And Keith Johnson sent in a $2 super chat, says, Aaron, appreciate you not crapping on Hit Row for the rap. I mean, it just wasn't my thing, so I'm not gonna knock it or anything, but I was not really feeling it, but so they got to do their thing, and we'll see if they continue to connect with the crowd. I mean, that remains to be seen. They're doing their thing, and some people liked it, some people didn't, but time will tell if it works out for them. So anyways, guys, thank you all again for tuning in. I very much appreciate it. Give it a thumbs up, spread the word, tell a friend, and remember to say yes to NoDQ.com, and I will see you all next time.